What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here with another update kind of conversation video. Obviously, everyone knows about the rumours that were coming out after the game last week about Tanguy and Ndombele. Reports in France were saying that relationship with him and Mourinho have broken down, and Tanguy has said he doesn't want to play for Mourinho anymore. Since then, there have been articles from The Athletic and news all over the internet, to be honest. Where was that article from originally, from in France, the report in France, Jim?
Yeah, in France it was from an article called Telefoot, I believe. I can't comment on their reliability, but they were commenting, saying that they had a source in the Tottenham camp, basically, that Ndombele had a big fight with Mourinho on the Monday of last week, this week, and saying that they got on a big bust up, and Ndombele apparently said to Mourinho that he was never going to play for him again. But that looks a bit far-fetched at the moment. The Athletic are commenting, saying that there was a conversation between Ndombele and Mourinho about his playing time, but it was more about what he needs to do to get into the team rather than I'm never going to play for you again kind of conversation. It was a more cordial, wasn't a very aggressive conversation that's been reported. So I think that's a bit of a positive step, but still, there does seem to be something under the surface here in terms of if he's a right fit for Mourinho, if Mourinho is ever going to really accept him in his starting 11, and if he has the right attitude to be starting week in, week out.
Yeah, I mean, it's a strange one, isn't it? Because the noise coming out of Jose Mourinho publicly is pretty much all positive. The build-up to the start of the Premier League, he was talking a lot about him, and he was saying how Tonguy's doing all the right things. And then you would expect him to get at least 5 minutes in one of the games, surely, against Man United or against West Ham, to back those statements up.
He even hinted after the West Ham game that he was doing well, that Ndombele was doing well in training, because he said that sometimes he feels sorry for players who deserve more from their training sessions to not get any minutes, but I can't play everyone. And so I thought that was an interesting statement. He seemed to be praising Ndombele a bit. And we saw from the training clips that he does seem to be looking good in training, I would say. I thought he looked very skillful, although the woolly hat in 30-degree heat is probably a lot to be desired.
But I tell you what, you know what that woolly hat and jumper is about? That's called weight loss training, my friend. That's what you do. 100%. That's what you do in 30-degree heat if you want to lose weight. You put clothes on and you sweat it out.
I feel like it's just Ndombele. I don't know. Maybe you're right. I hope you're right.
I can't say why. How could you go into 30-degree heat with a hat? It doesn't make sense. It has to be weight loss training.
You're probably right. You're probably right. He just seems a bit of a character, doesn't he, Ndombele? Like, he does what he wants. If he wants, he's not taking that woolly hat off any weather. Nothing will get him out of it. But you're probably right. What was I saying? Yeah, I think that Jose does seem to be praising him and seem to be on his side. But apparently, also read in the article in The Athletic, anyway, if you read that article, it's really interesting. They were saying that sources close to some of the players were, even the players that are in Ndombele's corner, saying there's still even a bit of lack of effort from him, even in the training sessions. And Mourinho apparently doesn't trust him enough right now, seeing as our defensive side of the game is it's found wanting so much that he doesn't trust Ndombele in central midfield to be protecting the back four. He doesn't think he has the right qualities at the moment that he needs in centre mid to sufficiently protect our defence. And once we get that right, maybe he's going to start introducing a bit more in an attacking kind of sense. But for the time being, he can't find the right balance with Ndombele in it. And to be honest, I can understand that, because if you're looking at the central midfield options at the moment, you're not dropping Lo Celso for him in centre mid. Unless you're going to play him in behind the striker, you'll probably say Lamela and Dele Alli are probably better suited to that role. And that leaves one more central midfield option. And at the moment, you have to pick Sissoko. You can't pick Ndombele ahead of Sissoko, because I don't think Ndombele would have the energy to cover as much ground as Sissoko could cover. And I know Ndombele obviously offers a lot more than Sissoko offers on the ball. But off the ball, Sissoko's second to none in our squad in terms of what he can offer. So it's difficult to find a place for him.
Yeah, that's true. It is very true. And what Alistair Gold was saying as well, he was saying that there's no fallout, but at the moment it's a toss-up in the starting lineup between Lo Celso and Ndombele. And at the moment, you just can't take out Lo Celso, can you? Because he is just a joy to behold watching, and Ndombele, he's had his letdowns.
You'd probably argue Harry Winks is also ahead of him at the moment, though.
Yeah, look, Ndombele hasn't done enough as of yet, but the point is that why hasn't he even got 5 minutes?
That's the big question. Why have we not seen him even in a cameo performance, even with a few minutes to go or something? That to me signals a bit more problems that he's letting on, which is a bit of an issue because clearly this guy's very talented, but I'm starting to doubt whether Ndombele and Mourinho are the right fit, which is a problem. Also, I want to give it time, but I just feel like Mourinho likes his players with a certain type of mentality, that they're just like very driven kind of players who know their jobs, who do their jobs to the letter, and do what they're told and work very hard to do that. And I'm not saying Ndombele is lazy, but I would say he's got more of a laid-back kind of attitude. He's kind of more of a maverick. He's kind of like he relies more on instincts than he does on instruction kind of player. And maybe Mourinho sees that, and he sees that this guy isn't what I need in that central midfield.
Do you back him to make it at Spurs?
Yeah, I think the quality he has, that would be stupid to let him go early and not give it as much a chance as possible. So I think we should definitely at least give it another year if we can. And I think once we find the right balance in the team, I think Ndombele could become one of the stars of the team. I think he's that good. Right, yeah. If we can find a balance with him and Lo Celso both in the team somehow, then I think we've got something really good going.
I don't see why you can't play Sissoko further back, a tiny bit further back, and Lo Celso and Ndombele in that middle too. Once he's fit and firing, obviously.
It just means dropping Dele Alli or Lamela, that attacking midfield option.
I don't see why they shouldn't do that. I mean, Lo Celso and Tanguy and Ndombele have technical ability that trumps both of them by far.
To be honest, Lo Celso, his best position when we signed him was in that attacking midfield position. Yeah, that's where at Betis in his last season, he got 16 goals. He was performing as one of the best attacking midfielders in Europe at the time. Not the best, but he was up there. So maybe Dele Alli is the one who should be looking at himself, thinking, "I've got to really step up to get into this team. Otherwise, there's players who are going to be who are chomping the bit to get out of the team." Dele Alli, I know he has had a good season, but I know he had a poor game on Tuesday, but he's just very inconsistent in his performances. I feel like Lo Celso is not the same player as Dele Alli. He would get involved a lot more in the game than Dele Alli. He wouldn't rely on just a few moments in the game to kind of justify his selection. Lo Celso is the kind of player who likes to knit play together. He likes to get on the ball a lot. He's not the kind of player who's going to lose possession very easily like Dele Alli would. And yes, Dele Alli contributes a lot going forward, but if he keeps putting in these performances where he's very frustrated on the ball and he seems to lose the ball a lot and he seems to be sloppy in possession, he could see himself out of the team, even if he is contributing going forward.
A lot of fans, not just Spurs fans, but around like Premier League that's taken interest, especially on kind of Twitter, like to kind of say this is very similar to the Mourinho and Pogba thing. But I think, you've seen these things everywhere Mourinho's gone. I think you want to take his relationship with Eden Hazard as an example, because I think Eden Hazard was found wanting for effort right at the beginning when Jose was there, and he was kept out of the team for a bit, and then he came back fit and firing and was one of their best players. Do you think something like that can happen with Tanguy? Yeah,
he got player of the year, didn't he? Eden Hazard in Mourinho's second season. People like to draw comparisons, but I think each situation is different. And I think for sure, Mourinho, some players he's gotten the best out of, some players he's fallen out with. I remember Mesut Ozil. There's a famous story about how Mourinho dug into him hard at half time in one of the games, and Ozil wasn't happy about that. But we could see now.
Exactly.
We can see now what Mesut Ozil's real mentality is. When the going gets tough, Ozil gets going. So, so I think Tanguy and Ndombele, if he's got to have the right mentality to play under Jose for sure. But there's no reason why. He's still a young player. He's still learning his trade. He's only really had one season or a couple of seasons at the top level. So he's still learning how to have the right attitude. So I want to give him some time. I don't know if the situations are the same. But I do kind of feel for Mourinho at the moment that putting in Ndombele in that midfield, it's a struggle. And I think the best way to do it would be to put Lo Celso a bit further forward and put Ndombele and Sissoko together. That's the only way I can really see it at the moment. But I think for the time being, I think we are going to be seeing him out of the team. I just don't see why, if he is playing well in training, give him a few minutes. I don't understand. That's what I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, because the noises coming out of training look like he is putting in effort, and you can see the videos that come out. He looks unplayable at times. Literally can't get the ball off him with his flip flaps and what have you. But I think that
it's when we don't have the ball. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem. I think time will tell. But I back him to make it at Spurs. I really think.
Can I just say as well? All these rumours of a 2-year loan deal with not even an obligation to buy, with an option to buy. You think Levy is going to do that? Not in a million years is Levy going to do that. 0% chance of that happening. Absolutely nonsense. I can't believe people are even considering that to be true. That's never going to happen.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't think he'll get rid of him for cut price or anything either, because I think that he's come in as our most expensive signing of all time. It's not like we're just going to get rid of him after a year. You know what I mean?
And what do you think of a potential cash plus Coutinho bid for Ndombele? Would you consider that?
I don't want it. I'm not so sure on Coutinho, man. The guy hasn't been consistently good for 2 years now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he's always been inconsistent, even when he was good. So, if Bayern Munich could have had him for he was on loan there, and if he was that good, they would have taken him home. They didn't fancy him. Barcelona didn't fancy him after spending 140 million on him. They gave him all the chances in the world. He was always an inconsistent performer at Liverpool. So for me, I remember when we were nearly signed him to replace Eriksen back in the last summer. And I remember we weren't so keen on him even back then. I remember we were obviously a bit excited because he is a good player. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I don't think he's the one that we need. He's just so inconsistent. He's very frustrating. And I'm not so keen on him. I'm really not.
For me, Coutinho, yeah, he'll score a worldie one in every 5 or 6 or 7 games. But his actual influence on a football match, I don't think is that great. I think he's, like you said, way too inconsistent and hasn't been good for 2 years nearly now since he was at Liverpool. So for me,
unless they're going to offer like 100 million plus Coutinho, then maybe I'll consider it.
And what wages is this guy going to want as well?
Yeah, exactly. I'm assuming he's on 250 plus. So that's going to be a no-go for us, I think.
For me, let him go to Arsenal, replace Ozil. Maybe they'll have a round 2.
Exactly. Another player who doesn't like to play in the Europa League probably be pulling out. Yeah. So for me, I want Ndombele to stay. Apparently, the noises from Tottenham is Tottenham want Ndombele to stay as well.
Can't not want him to stay. The guy's insane.
Yeah, Levy doesn't want to let him go just yet. So it's just all about if Mourinho and Ndombele can kind of get on the same page right now, because I feel like they are a bit apart, but there's no reason why that relationship can't be repaired.
Yeah, but when you look at things before Premier League stopped, they were like this much apart, like that much. Yeah. Now they're like getting closer. You know what I mean? At least he's praising him. That's a step in the right direction. So we can only hope for good things.
100%. But also, apparently, he's very unlikely to start in our next game. That's what the Athletic are saying. So I might not see him in the starting lineup for a bit. I'm not surprised. Yeah,
I'm not surprised either. But you've got 3 games in the space of 6 days coming up. So if he doesn't get any minutes in these 3 games, it'll be a very big shock.
Is Sissoko going to have to play all of them? I'm guessing.
Probably.
Going to overwork him.
We'll see. And maybe Toby, you've got players like Toby Alderweireld who just signed a new bumper contract, 150 grand a week. He hasn't.
True, I haven't seen him yet. It's true.
So
there's also a lot of talk. There was also a lot of talk during the break about Sessegnon. Haven't seen him yet either.
Exactly. So
he's not the only one.
Everyone needs to pause a bit because it's only 2 games in. Everyone's been out for 3-4 months. And Tanguy didn't have the best of times just before the break. So I think everyone just needs to calm down a bit.
Yeah. All right.
All right, so there you have it. That is our Tanguy Ndombele update. Let me know in the comment section below, what are your thoughts on Tanguy? Do you think he should get straight into the team, or is Jose Mourinho right to get his fitness back up and what have you? Let me know in the comment section below. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.
Come on you Spurs.